Now, we have the power of positive thinking. So in order to plan it out, our next topic is planning and designing the modern hospital with upcoming ultra-modern facilities by Mr. Inida. Sir, can we please have you on the dais?
Hello, very good afternoon. I am between your food and my presentation. I will make it more interactive. We have done experiment with Truth, Mahatma Gandhi. We also did for positive hospital management. So now I hope we are positively positive. We start entering the hospital, and before entering the hospital, we should plan it. I'll talk about the healthcare sector in past. See, you must have seen the recent budget, Union Budget 2013. Nothing great about healthcare, because healthcare is the least priority for our politicians, for all of us, because we are unorganized. At the same time, if you see to that, healthcare industry, if you see the healthcare industry, it is 50% from the hospital side, around 25% is the pharma side. And if you see the Indian healthcare system, which is spending less than half of the global average in percentage terms when compared to on a percentage of GDP basis. And the drivers, you must be seeing in Gujarat per se, so many hospitals, so many international chains are coming up. Some of the factors which are driving the growth for healthcare in Gujarat, particular increase in our population, shift in demographics, disposable incomes, incidence of lifestyle diseases, rising literacy, and economic factor, tax benefit and medical tourism. Changing disease pattern implication for healthcare infrastructure, healthcare infrastructure deficiencies, so many. Now if you see why most of the Indian corporates and multinational MNCs coming into the healthcare, see the gap in our country. Hospital bed density per 10,000 population in India was 12 beds. In the term of doctor, it is 6 compared to Western world. Now the emerging trends in the healthcare delivery. You must be seeing in Gujarat, if you see, I have been in Ahmedabad for the last 15 years. Recently, for the past 6 months, I am in Baroda. There was a culture of hospital which is managed by single person. There was a hospital which is managed by trust. But now, for the past 5 years, if you see Gujarat, particularly in city of Ahmedabad, Baroda, Surat, and Rajkot, so many corporate hospitals are coming up. You see so many M&As, mergers and acquisitions. You see increased investment in the term of research and development. Investment trends, if you see according to FICCI, the healthcare sector is likely to see an increase in investment from 34.2 billion in 2006 to 78 billion US dollar in the year 2012. FDI, now this is the thing, FDI flows in the hospital sector have not been significantly very high. The reason, because this time also the budget says healthcare is not a industry. The real problem is that because we all are not organized. Baroda, Surat, Ahmedabad, there are 4 major cities without any integration of healthcare services and academic interest. The main problem of healthcare is FDI. You see most, like I will just tell my experiences in colleges and all. When we used to go to banks, State Bank of India, PNB and all, you have to stand in a queue, and after 1 hour or 2 hours, or maybe after 1 day or 2 days, you get a bank draft. But now see this banks, they have changed, and SBI has not changed because they want to change, because the market factors are there. If you see all the multinational banks which has come in India, they have changed the way the bank works. Now I am sure most of the people are not going to banks now. Why? Because the services is at the doorstep. But this is not happening in the healthcare. So FDI investment is not there in healthcare. M&A deals, it is happening major into the pharma, biotech, private equity investment. This is the only model which most of the companies are trying with. There has been increase in private equity and venture capitalist activity for the past couple of years. These investments have been made across the healthcare delivery chains. You must be seeing so many corporate hospital chains are coming up in Gujarat. The private equity investment nearly doubled in 2010 for pharma, healthcare and biotech sector. Now for the planning of the hospital, if you see, hospital is very dynamic organization. When we recently inaugurated the BAPS hospital, they got hospital in Surat, they got in Ahmedabad, they have started a new hospital in Baroda and few small centers also. If you see, we have created a temple as a hospital, and before starting the hospital there was a Pran Pratishtha program for the statue. But hospital, whenever you make a building, you don't do Pran Pratishtha for the hospital building. See, hospital is not a building. Life has to inject it into the hospital building. In spite of one of the best architects in the country, in spite of having the expert, still since I am part of the few hospital which is made by some of the private sectors. The problem is that whenever the patients, whenever the doctors, whenever the paramedic staff use the building, so many things we need to change. Like in most of the hospitals which I was working in Gujarat and outside Gujarat, after 1 year, hospital changed 365 degree. The reason is that because we have not done Pran Pratishtha for the hospital. You have to inject a life, you have to actually simulate the hospital, from where the patient is coming, from where the front office will accept him. Whenever patients go to OT or ICU, what are the things which is happening on the patient. And that is the reason now the healthcare organization is becoming very vibrant. Innovate or die. There are very few hospitals which innovate. If you are not innovating, you will die. I hope you must have seen the ad of Surf Excel. See, if you follow the Surf Excel story, they have changed in everything. Right from the beginning till now, you must be knowing, most of the time use the word, instead of a toothpaste we say Colgate. Colgate is a brand. There was a time when Pepsodent came to our country, and there was one local shop in one of sleepy towns. So most of the people used to come and ask for Colgate. So the vendors and distributor told no need to keep Pepsodent in your shop because there is no sales. But the people are there to keep it. And a time comes when there was a delivery shortage, and most of the people get to know there is one more brand which is known as Pepsodent. And now you see, I hope now most of you may not be using Colgate. There are so many options available. These companies, FMCG companies, are day in and day out are doing innovation. But there are very few hospitals in the country which are doing innovation. I'll give you an example. You see the Facebook pages of most of the hospitals. It is stagnant. We are not doing anything great on those Facebook pages except some of the friends post their pictures, their personal photograph, their personal celebration and all. There are very few hospitals which maintain a professional Facebook pages. So we don't innovate into the healthcare. This is the process flow of a typical hospital planning. Now I'll talk something about the modern concept in the hospital planning. Tomorrow is born out of today. Healthcare 50 years, hence cannot be visualized clearly, but it is certainly delivered also in facility planned now. So what we expect our hospital tomorrow, we should plan now. Some of the advancement in the technology, the benefit of improved technology like improved coordination, delivery of healthcare services, streamlining processes, reduced time spent providing the same information many times over a different clinician and healthcare service provider. There was one paperless hospital in the country which was started in Mohali by Fortis Group. See, you must be seeing wherever the patient is going, I think 10 people 10 times he is asking what is your name, what is your age, what is your address. Now also, except certain big private sectors. There was one hospital, as I was telling, Fortis and Mohali, this is the first paperless hospital in the country, and now it is a history. They have started a unique concept. Whenever a patient is coming to the hospital, they make a smart card. And if you give 10,000 bucks or 15,000 bucks, whatever procedure you're doing, wherever you are going, you're not supposed to pay anything. Your amount is debited from that card and your medical history is tagged onto that. So if you're doing a cross consultation from various specialties, no need to tell the whole story and all the papers. If you see a patient move with the bag, the fancy bags the hospital gives. And whenever a doctor see all the ECG report and pathology report, except the date, you see everything. You don't know the trend. So this kind of services now is available in the hospital. Now very few hospital is adapting the technology. The hospital which is adapting the technology, like one of the hospital I visited outside India during ISCO accreditation, see the most cumbersome procedure in any hospital is filling up of forms. Whenever a patient comes, you are supposed to fill an admission form and all those things. So you expect in one of the Malaysia hospital, they have kept 10 forms as a sample forms on a glass. If you are Hindi, English, Urdu or whatever, a standard template of a form with the filling of all those things. So patient is not supposed to ask to anybody, okay, what I need to fill here, what I need to fill there. So these are the small practical solutions if we start imbibing in the hospital. See, planning is one thing, but when the hospital is on, so many processes we need to map. So technology if we use in healthcare, it can make a difference rather than 256 slice CT scan or 128 slice CT scan or a 16 slice CT scan. But if CT scan technician is not saying my name is XYZ, I'll be going to do a CT scan and the procedure will take half an hour. I think that is the thing which we need to connect to the patient, and I'm sure most of us and most of the patient also don't know what is this slices thing is all about. So hospital is, we are taking the technology, but we are not making use of the technology from the user level. Who will use this technology? Technology will be used by the patient. And patient is not only few people. Patient is coming from all walks of the life. I am sure in our country, no hospital is saying the hospital is no for you and hospital is yes for you. Hospital is for all. So we should make a hospital which is patient friendly. See, most of the hospitals, there is no washroom for physically challenged people. You go there is a male washroom, there is a female washroom. But there is very few hospitals, I have seen in India also, they made a hospital for physically challenged people. In fact, in our hospital also they have made. So, few things if you do for the patient care in the planning stages, it will make a difference. Of course, technology means improve privacy and the security of patient information, which is not there. For doctors and clinician technology, reduce duplication. They don't want to fill so many forms. Improve patient outcomes. Improve the quality and the consistency of care. Improve decision making and provide a different ways to interact with the patient directly or via video. This is one slide which I'm very happy to share. Hospital room of tomorrow. Step into the hospital room of future. Maybe all of these cool gadgets won't be in one hospital room, and certainly not by tomorrow. But advancement in medical science and technology promise us to provide this better medicine and more pleasurable experience. Like smart pills in some of the hospital we are using, smartphone ultrasound, taking controls, medical tricoders, artificial womb, health display, centralized IV system, most of the tedious job of the staff nurse, smart beds, medication security, most important from quality point of view, memory restoration, robotic surgeon, and organ printers. Advancement in infrastructure and planning, modular construction. It's the way because what we plan, we start the 2 OT and then we see the workload. We have to make 2 more. So if we make a modular construction, for our OTs in the hospital, we can do the charge certification. The use of modular construction is directly influenced by the client's requirement for the speed of construction, addition of new departments, which is a constant process in the hospital, least disturbance to existing facilities of a paramount importance, quality and added benefit of economy of scale, as well as single point procurement. Flexibility in design. I was working in Apollo Hospital, New Delhi, once started in the year 97. So after 3 years, we have to actually break the main entrance of the hospital, because we are installing a hyperbaric chamber inside the hospital, which we need to install on the ground floor. That is futuristic vision. So if we plan these things in phases, then I think we should not, the flexibility in design. Hospitals are facilities that are heavily serviced and are built to the last, and yet they have a constantly adapt to changing needs, coming mainly from the technological development and new medical practices. So flexibility in design. Some major factors have been shaping the contemporary hospital, like introduction of public spaces within the hospital, importance according to natural light. I'll show you one of the central dome of our hospital, you will appreciate that. And new medical practices. The introduction of interior streets and atria has led to the horizontal organization. Services are distributed along a major spine that bring in daylight, which is important in hospital. Hospitals are not a closed building, they are open building. And diversion, that is positive distraction. I think when we all visit malls, that is very much you see positive distraction. They do something which you forced to see. Like typical Pragati Maidan fair, if you visit, talking about 10, 12 years back, so many small boys stand and they give the brochure on the main entrance. And what you do, you take that brochure and you go 5 feet ahead and see here and throw that brochure. See, I think most of the brochure don't reaches our home also, and you don't read. The one marketing company, they innovate. What they did, they make a roll of that brochure and give to you. And after some time, it make you forced to read that brochure. So something like this. Healthcare generally don't innovate for a variety of reasons. We need to innovate in healthcare. I think most of the people, you visit any store, you visit any healthcare conferences, most of the brochure is trash. It is putting up in your car at the back seat, and you don't read. And healthcare, I think reading is most important, because if you are not reading, then I think it will not make a difference what a treatment you are going for. If you find a CT scan brochure outside the CT scan, and if it's talking about CT scan, okay, what is this procedure is all about, for what kind of patient it is beneficial, what is the turnaround time, all those things, if you empower the patient and their relative, it will make a much difference. Like some of these, hospital positive distraction techniques. 3 easy to implement ideas came to mind that can accomplish those goals. Artwork. Stress during the patient experience. A wonderful solution with artwork would be include like gallery like walls with rotating. As you have seen some hospital with a fountain in center. Very few hospitals. If you do sudden out-of-box thing in the hospital, it will not look like a hospital, but it will give a soothing experience to the patient relatives. Carry like walls, rotating art displays, but also give patients something new to look at each time they visit the facility. Aesthetic, use of interior design concept, soothing and calming colors, aromatherapy, entertainment with technology. Guidelines for hospital planning and designing occupancy, which is the most important factor in healthcare to make the business in positive. A building designed for other purpose shall not convert it into a hospital. The location of the hospital shall comply with all local zoning ordinances. Environment, safety of a paramount importance. Patient movement, this is most important. Some of the places in our current hospital we have to close. We have make one surgery OPD, one medical OPD, and reception in the center. So that whenever a patient is coming to a reception, it is a filter clinic basically. Whenever a patient is coming to the reception, based on his need, he is diverted to a surgery OPD or a medical OPD with a connecting link. But now housekeeping staff has kept all those drums inside and all, so that entire gallery is blocked. So the thing which has been thought, it has not. So now patient is taking in about 10 and going like this. So all those things are very important. Security most important, soothing. In a hospital security, if you see, thanks to threats and all, bombs and all, a security guard is very hard. So whenever he checks your car, he behaves like he's the CEO of the hospital and all those things. But in contrast, if you visit a 5-star hospital, I have seen, the security guard will say you namaskar, and he will say all those good things and soft skill, which is not seen in the hospital. So these are the few things if we imbibe from day one that can make a difference. Make a system like that, which is most important. Ventilation, adequate ventilation shall be provided to ensure comfort of patient personal. We have attempted in our hospital, in this current hospital, every room you can see the sunlight. Every room you can see sunlight. So that till 6 o'clock you are not supposed to on the light unless you are a fanatic about owning the light. Something like this. Lighting is most important. We have actually mocked the process of lighting. Before officially commissioning the hospital, we have asked all our employees to come at 6 p.m. in the evening in their department and see whether these lights are adequate. Because if we want a light here, our consultant must have put it here. If you want the light here, you must have put it here. Like in Sal Hospital, when I was there, we have created an intensive care unit, big intensive care unit. A light is on the patient head, and it is on or off only, and it is a problem. So these kind of things is important. All areas in the hospital and other healthcare facilities shall be provided with sufficient illumination to promote comfort, healing and recovery of patient, and to enable personal and performance of work. Because then you have to change your bench according to this. Waste disposal, most important, law or ordinances, which is important. Water supply. A hospital and other healthcare facility shall use an approved public water system whenever applicable. The water supply shall be portable, safe for drinking and adequate, and shall be brought into the building free of cross connection. Like wherever we provided this water connection for the staff, for the people, if there we put a chart, last where we did the water sampling and when it is due, that will give you more confidence to drink 1 or 2 more glasses of water. Something like this. When I was in Ahmedabad Mirror has done an audit of all the hospitals, all the big corporate hospitals. I'm talking a team. They have done a team operation. They went to every hospital and checked the water facilities which they give to patient and the relative. And to all of us surprise, it is very bad. There was steel glasses, somewhere there no glasses, or wet area. I'm talking about big corporate hospitals. And after a month, some hospital try to it. But in contrast, you go to mall, you find a branded cup kept there, and a very good water fountain. You take a water, and it's fine. It is disposable. So hospital also don't use these platforms as branding activities. If you use a small cup with all your scope of services or whatever you want to show, and you give that. But in spite of that, there's steel glasses or there is no glasses or whatever. Wow, water supply or auditory and visual privacy. Hospital and other healthcare facilities shall observe acceptable sound level and adequate visual seclusion to achieve the acoustic and privacy requirement in designated areas. Material specification, that is floor, wall, ceiling, shall be of sturdy material that shall allow durability, ease of cleaning and fire resistance. Maintenance of the hospital building is most important. Once you must have seen most of the hospital building after a few years, they die their natural death. Because you cannot paint the hospital, you cannot clean this thing, because doctors, patients and all, they got one big group, they don't want, it is a business decision and all those things. And I'm sure most of the ICUs are compromised. They are not doing fumigation and all those things because of a business decision. Therefore, make your building which can suit. Like most of the hospital, what they do in city of Bombay, compartments. So you close one part of ICU, you fumigate that so that you can use that. All those things if we can do in the planning stage only, that can make a difference. Sanitation, segregation, fire protection now most important. You must be remembering Kolkata fire. tragedy. Most of the fire protection devices in the hospital per se is not working. Signages is the most important. Thanks to NABS, now they are saying signages should be in 2 languages minimum. One a local language and one whatever you want. Number one this. Secondly, now I had did during my internship in Lady Harding Medical College, Kalavati Saran Hospital in New Delhi, there was a daily OPD of around 3,000 patients. So there was a biggest challenge, people coming from all over the country to that hospital because it is a government hospital and all those things. So the medical superintendent was facing how to communicate to the patient and their relative where you want to go. So it is a tough time. So then a unique concept, we all hospital young management students, what we did, we have created 10 lines like red, pink, blue and all, and there's you see a typical government registration, they won't speak to you, they just make a case paper and you go, room number 42, that poor fellow is struggling in the entire building, where is room number 42? So what is done, a color in that OPD consultation note, they created a color, suppose same color is a pediatric OPD, then they have traced a parallel line from the OPD, then you say you follow this line, and wherever this line stops, that is your OPD. So some small thing, if you try to imbibe in the hospital in the planning stage only, then it will make a difference. Parking, doctors parking, staff parking, we take care of everything except the patient and relative. They are supposed to park their car outside the hospital, and they are your actually patients. So if we take care of adequate, I am not saying not to give to doctors and staff, but there should be provision inside the hospital. Like in Shelby Hospital when I was there, because we attract patients from across Gujarat and India for joint replacement. So a patient who is coming for a joint replacement, he is paying a bill of 2 lakhs on the average, and his car is parked outside, and all other car parked inside, and every alternate day there is a biggest challenge that security saab meri car somebody has taken the stereo and my whatever. So the patient and relative, I think we should have also a scope of parking inside the hospital, and I am saying if you give parking to the patient and relative inside the hospital, which is in the control of the hospital. So what we used to do, that parking is not in our control. That because they are your patient, they are your customer. So we take care of those people during the planning stage only, maybe small depending on the place where we are getting. That it is a good sign. Green hospital, very big concept. No hospital is green. Some hospitals claim we are green. Green hospital is one in which enhanced patient well-being aids in curative process. See, green is not a color we should appreciate. It aids in curative process while utilizing natural resources in an efficient, environmental friendly manner, like reduction of energy consumption, cost, CO2 emission, and focus area of green hospital is lighting, indoor air quality, green housekeeping, gardening and landscaping. We have attempted a landscaping in our hospital, which I'll tell you, have photographs of them. Benefit of green hospital, both tangible and intangible. Fast recovery in green hospital, much faster recovery, connectivity to outside environment, comparatively fast healing, day lighting and views. One 5-star hotel started in Ahmedabad is Ishta Ahmedabad, if you heard the name, ISTA. So they have created a restaurant which is green landscaping. So if you enter the restaurant, there is a waterfall, there is a landscaping, so you have to walk around. You are thinking you are eating a food in a restaurant which is outside. Actually,